views and opinions expressed on Xplorers Secrets of the Truth or that of their guests or contributors are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent. All information on Xplorers Secrets of the Truth is provided in good faith. However, we make no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of any information on this talk show or website.
From monsters and ghosts to otherworldly beings, join the Explorers as they venture into the darkest realms, seeking the truth to what goes bump in the night.
Welcome to Explorers, Seekers of the Truth. I want to thank everybody who will be tuning in tonight, as it is Halloween night. I guess our favorite night, really, our favorite holiday. You know, it fits us nicely. So tonight we're going to be talking about the true origins of Halloween and the legend of Stingy Jack. And on this show, this is the show where we like to walk the narrow line between what is told and what is true.
It is so weird not being the one to open the show.
No, I know. It's a different one. It's different. It threw me off.
Yeah,
I was waiting for you.
Yeah, it's a little different. So in tonight's episode, we're going to follow the trail of the man who outwitted the devil himself.
Mm-hmm.
Paid the eternal price, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep, a soul condemned to wander the earth, carrying only a single ember to light his way.
Yes, his name was Jack. The people called him Stingy Jack. And this is his story that gave birth to one of Halloween's darkest symbols, the jack-o'-lantern.
Yes, but Jack's tale is only the beginning, because beneath the holiday we celebrate lies something ancient, something older than churches, older than scripture, and darker than most dare to remember.
Tonight we uncover the truth behind Halloween. The folklore that wasn't just a story, but a warning.
That's true. But before we go on, should I do my usual spiel? Because I'm completely thrown off. It's a different format than what we're used to. See what happens when I do the show setup? It gets all out of whack.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, tell everybody where they can find us, Leslie. I'll bring it back.
All right. Okay. Good. You could see. Did my audio drop again?
A little bit.
Because I can't hear anything now. You could find us usually every other Tuesday, but it's been a little bit more sporadic as of late. On Facebook, live on Facebook and YouTube every other Tuesday. We like to try and keep it every other Tuesday if we can. While you're there, follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe on YouTube. You could find us on all the major podcast providers. And while we're there, all we ask is that you leave us a 5-star review if you're able to, because some of them are tricky. But that will bump us up in the algorithms. You can find us on X, or what was Twitter, at Explorers Group. You can find us on our website at explorersgroup.com. And that is about it for the spiel. So, got some ambience there. Very nice. I like. It begins in Ireland centuries ago, when stories were passed by firelight and every whisper carried weight. There was a man named Jack, and he was known in every tavern, in every village, as a cheat, a liar, and a drunkard.
Now, one of the things was that they said he was clever, too clever for his own good. The kind of man who thought he could outsmart even death itself.
That's right. And one night, the devil came for him, and Jack was staggering home, lanternless. The road was lit only by a pale moon, and there, at the crossroads, the devil appeared.
Now, the interesting thing was Jack wasn't surprised. he greeted the devil like it was an old friend and even offered him a drink.
That's right. And then they went into a tavern, and as the legend tells it, when the time came to pay, Jack convinced the devil to turn himself into a silver coin to settle the bill.
Now, here's where Jack thinks he's going to outsmart the devil, though. Instead of paying, Jack slips the coin into his pocket, a pocket that held a small silver cross.
Interesting. Well, at that point, the devil was trapped, and as as with a lot of the monsters of legend, the metal burned, and the cross's light held him basically as a prisoner within that the coin and in Jack's pocket.
Mm-hmm. So, sensing opportunity here, Jack made his deal then. Told the devil he would release him if he swore never to take his soul to hell.
But the devil, being the devil, bound by trickery, agreed. And when Jack finally let him go, the devil vanished.
Oh, that was weird.
What happened?
Your volume is really low again.
Oh, I don't. I need a new mixer. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. So years passed, right? And Jack grew older, and he died as he lived, mean, faithless. When he reached the gates of heaven, though, they turned him away.
Oh, well, here's where it's interesting, too. He went to hell. And when he was there, the devil remembered his promise. Jack could not enter.
Mm-hmm. So his soul was condemned to wander forever between heaven and hell. Jack begged for light.
Oh, yes, sorry. I was opening the chat and I lost my place. Hello to Cindy and hello to Brandon. Thank you both for joining in. They're tuning in from YouTube. So yes, you could comment live during the show. So yes, the devil, mocking him, tossed him a single coal from the fires of the underworld. Jack hollowed out a turnip to carry it and then began his endless wandering.
A lone flickering glow, roaming the roads and fields of Ireland.
And when people saw strange lights in the darkness, dancing will-o'-the-wisps in the bogs, they whispered his name, Jack of the Lantern.
I was going to do a music cue, but
yeah,
my phone's in my lap now.
There you go. So that is kind of, I guess, an Irish tale of how the jack-o'-lantern kind of came to be. As we go on throughout the rest of the night, because the format tonight is a little bit different. It's more of a storytelling, so it's a little bit different than what Chad and I usually do. But as we go through, we're going to be talking about different, what would you call it, legends or tales of how Halloween kind of came to be.
Yeah, it's kind of like some of the folklore of Halloween and how we kind of get to the point we are now in modern day with some of the traditions that we don't even really understand what the root form of it was. Like, the jack-o'-lantern just became the, we carve pumpkins at this time of year, and most people have no clue why, except for, we've done it since we were kids, so we just do it.
Right.
Now, funny question, right?
Sure.
Has really very little to do with the topic.
Well, go ahead.
Did your grandparents use the word stingy?
It pertaining to just in general?
Like, don't be stingy, or you're being stingy, like when you wouldn't share?
Yep.
Okay. Because my grandparents used it a lot. Not like towards me because I was a good kid, but no, like that was kind of like common. Like nowadays, I don't hear people ever really say it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, stingy's not a pretty common word anymore. But yeah,
Yeah.
when we were kids, I do very much remember. Oh God, you're so stingy, or don't be stingy with that. Don't be stingy with your food or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It was always like, it was kind of like their word for like not sharing or acting in such a way that you weren't gonna share.
yeah. Or you're just hoarding everything. You're not
Yeah.
not sharing. Yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of thought it was weird that like I was thinking of it when we were talking and going through the story. I'm like, my grandmother used to say that an awful lot, and I don't recall hearing it much in the last. My grandma has been dead now 30 some years. So my other grandmother's been dead about 10.
Mhm.
So I probably haven't heard it much. Actually, God, no, it's longer than 10 years. It's like almost 15. So probably about 15, 16 years now. I haven't
Yeah.
really heard people say it. Even older people that would be, in their age, I don't really hear it used. But
Yeah,
also I'm in a different culture where I'm living now, so maybe it wasn't as common here.
Yeah, no, well, I don't hear it much around here either. And Matt's tuning in from YouTube. Happy Halloween, Matt, to you as well. And Brandon says that he remembers also his grandparents saying or using the term stingy too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was just something that kind of
Jack, stingy
yeah.
Jack.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like it's a word, the a word that we grew up hearing and probably using too, like with our siblings and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And now it's like I think if I said stingy to like the kids I work around,
Mhm.
and when I say kids, they're in their 20s.
Yeah,
You
for sure.
know, I don't think they would have a clue what the word means
Yeah.
or what, they definitely wouldn't know the root of it or
Yeah.
the, stingy Jack story, but just the word stingy doesn't seem to be used anymore.
That's true. That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
I think
Well,
we all should start using it again.
yeah, we're going to be bringing stingy back. So speaking of, to recap the first segment there, we talked about Stingy Jack and how he was so stingy that he didn't even want to pay his bill. So he tricked the devil, and the devil, his soul was cursed to wander, and they put it in a little hollowed out turnip. So we're talking about turnips and pumpkins in the next segment. You want to start that off?
Yeah, I'll start off talking about turnips and pumpkins.
Oh, Brandon has a good. Now they call you broke, not stingy. That's true.
Yeah, it's like kind of just a different word has been put into that. But so turnips and pumpkins, right?
Yeah, turnips and pumpkins.
So now you got to think about like when the Irish families crossed the ocean to America, they carry the story of Jack with them, right? Because it's a tradition for them at this point.
Right.
But when they land here, they found the land and the availability of things different from Ireland.
Right. Well, turnips were scarce, but pumpkins, bright, round, and hollow, they grew everywhere.
Yeah. So the Jack's Grim lantern took on a new form, faces that were carved into pumpkins with their lights warding off, the restless spirits. That shit, I forgot to light ours out on the porch.
Well, here, funny story before we go on. Last night, the girls, we had the girls carve their pumpkins and everything. We got them all carved up, ready to go. We put them out. We were getting ready to put the lights in, and we forgot to put the lights in. We forgot to take pictures of them. And this morning, Leslie's like, "Oh, we got to get pictures of the kids' pumpkins. We forgot last night. We forgot to light them." And she was all upset. And I looked out the window, and I'm like, "Well, we're not going to do it tonight either." And she's like, "Why?" I said, "I think the deer ate them. All the pumpkins were down off of the steps of the porch and chewed apart. There's just shells left."
The weirdest thing is I have a large number of deer that hang out in my backyard. So we did pumpkins like 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Had the kids over, my friends' kids. They're not really my nieces, but they've grown up around me. So I'm Uncle Chad. They came over. My friend Brandon brought his 2 boys up. We did, big pumpkin. It was Dad's and Uncle Chad carving pumpkin time because the moms all the moms and my wife and all, they were out painting at one of those sipping paint
Oh yeah,
things.
yeah.
So they went to that. So it was just us guys carving pumpkins while watching hockey.
Hmm.
But I take all the pumpkin guts and everything out, and I throw it out in the yard for the deer. And then, next week, I'll throw the actual pumpkins out there. Those pumpkins will sit out there until summertime when they've rotted and become mush.
Yeah.
The deer just won't eat them.
Dude, they devour them here.
Yeah.
Even one of the uncarved ones was a whole freaking pumpkin.
Yeah.
Chewed down to like there was like maybe a 6-inch diameter section. Yeah,
Mhm.
the whole thing's gone.
Yeah,
Little bastards.
my deer that come up will not eat these pumpkins.
Hmm.
I found when I was mowing the first time this year, I found like a chunk of mushed pumpkin
Yeah.
in the yard.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Well, to get back on track here, you did say about how the pumpkins were carved and their light was to ward off the restless spirits. So they weren't just like decorations, right? So they're really warnings, but warnings to ward off spirits, because historically they say that at Halloween the veil between the living and the dead is at its thinnest, and that's when spirits. Did you just open something?
Yeah, so
Okay, all right. I just heard it like a tsh. I'm like, what the hell was that? So the veil is thinner, so the spirits can pass back and forth. So they're essentially a symbol of protection, right?
yeah.
And a reminder that, something or things, still walk between worlds. So they were to ward them away or keep them from entering your home and staying for the rest of the year.
Mhm. Yeah, you got to think about like with the Irish folklore,
Mhm.
there are so many different little creatures too,
Oh yeah.
like elementals and stuff like that. That the pumpkins are, or the turnips, the jack o' lanterns were
Mhm.
carved to keep away, and so over time, this meaning has become blurred.
Mhm.
The old fears, though, like I said, we do it nowadays just because
fun.
it's tradition. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the old fears of things like that have kind of softened over the years.
Mhm.
But even today, when we light those candles inside those carved faces, we're, kind of echoing a ritual born out of terror.
Well, yeah, and essentially we're telling the devil and his evil spirits, and well, even Jack, that our homes are not theirs to enter. So, moving on to the next segment, we're talking about, I guess, depending on how you pronounce it, some call it Samhain, some call it Samhain, is the Festival of Shadows. So, to understand why Jack's story took hold, we kind of have to travel back a little further to a time before Christianity and really before the devil himself.
Mhm. So here's an interesting question.
Okay.
How do you say it?
Samhain.
Okay. So how do you refer to the Irish fairies?
Which ones?
Fae.
Just the Fae?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fae. That's why.
Because
How do
if you're saying Samhain,
Yeah.
they would be the Shay.
Interesting.
So people use the etymology of one version of it and then use the wrong etymology of another word that ties to it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. See, now you
So-
learn something new every day. Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah. So to the Celts, we're
Mhm.
going to go back to the Celts, right?
Yep.
And to Samhain or Samhain or Travis Sanheim, Flyers defenseman.
Yeah. Yeah. Samhain or Samhain marked the end of the harvest and the beginning of winter, and it's essentially a season of death and decay. And the Celts believed the veil between the worlds, like we said before, was thin on that night.
Yeah. And that allowed the dead to return and spirits to cross freely, but not all were kind spirits.
Right.
Any
Well,
spirit at this point.
right. Well, the villagers, they would leave offerings outside, food outside of their doors to appease these spirits. But they extinguished their fires, then relit them for the sacred bonfires to protect their homes from darkness.
Yeah. That's one thing I think as a tradition people forget is to actually light a fire in their fireplace tonight,
Yep,
which I
I will be lighting mine.
also forgot to do already. So people wore disguises like animal skins and painted masks to confuse wandering spirits and to hide among them is the thought process.
Right. So, like, imagine the night, no street lights, no electric hum, just the crackle of flame, the smell of smoke, and the moan of the wind through the hollow trees, just to set the mood.
Mm-hmm. And in every shadow, the feeling that something or someone was watching you.
Yeah, and that was really the birth of Halloween's spirit. Not celebration, but survival. No parties, but prayers whispered into the dark.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
Like, it is the end of basically the growing season.
Mm-hmm.
So you have environmental death around you.
Right.
All your crops are dying off, Well, also like anything left in the field at this point, any crops that were actually left for another creature.
Mm-hmm.
So it was also thought bad luck to eat anything that was still growing in a field after tonight. I forget the name. It's some kind of like, I want to say it was kind of like a hog type creature. There's a lot of like weird Celtic hog
Yeah.
symbology. But it was some kind of like weird demonic little hog thing that would come out and eat up all the dead crops. And if you took food from it, it would curse your family or curse you, and you'd have bad luck or, you'd die.
Jeez.
Well, if you think about that, if you eat this stuff that's out here now, you may, the curse is death.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably eating something that was probably gone bad.
Yeah, well, yeah, like mold and all that shit. What was that that mold that you said before that it had a certain name?
Witch trials.
Yes.
Oh my god. Edcott. It's part of the base for LSD.
Yeah. So maybe that's the other thing too, is these people were eating whatever that mold was, and they were having hallucinogenic episodes and stuff like that. And that was another reason why, you can't eat after the season of death begins or whatever, because you'll go mad or whatever,
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was trying
to figure out what that mold was.
Ergot.
There you go.
I was close, but I knew I wasn't right. That would drive me nuts. So yeah, so you get into this time of year, and it is that like everything's dying, but then also like there's these other folklore things that pop up, like don't eat, stuff that's left out in the fields and stuff. And it's kind of neat. Like our ancestors were so creative that they thought like, wow, if we put on these animal skins or clothes, different clothes, and then paint something and put it over our face, we can walk among the dead. They won't notice us.
If you think about it, just the way you described that, putting on animal hides and face coverings and stuff like that, perhaps they ate some of this mold or whatever it is, or something similar. Sounds very much like the shamanistic rituals of the skinwalker. Like the shaman would put on the skins and the pelts and all this stuff and take, what was it, ayahuasca or something like that, some sort of a psychedelic drug, and would project the skinwalker or summon the skinwalker to do its bidding. But it was really, they were in this psychedelic trance.
Yeah. Well, I think psychedelics play a lot into early cultural expression.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure like some of the things from the Samhain and all that, there was probably an element of certain psychedelics being used
Mm-hmm.
to create this, vibrant time of, darkness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Cindy kind of brings up, she brings up a good point too. Like back before electricity was invented, every night would be spooky. Shadows always outside, the candlelight, complete darkness outside for, the entire town and everything. And plus two, the nights or the days are shorter, the nights are longer, the darkness holds on longer. So it's a whole thing. It's cold, it's freezing, and if you're out too long in the cold, you're going to die. Everything's going to kill you during that season. So it's the season of fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It just brings that kind of natural, like, life death cycle. More people probably did die during that time of year.
Mhm.
And then the people, like the spirit realm, being closer to our realm at that point, because all the stuff around them is dying off, and they know it'll come back, but it comes back like when it's warm.
Yeah.
When it starts getting warm and it gets the daylight's longer, things start coming back. But here it's like they kind of wedged the life cycle to the night everything dies, the energy would be the strongest for things that are already dead to seep through to the living world.
Yeah. Yeah. And to like kind of like what you're saying before, like the veil is thinner and all that stuff, and everything's dying. It's colder because what are we coming into? What do they always say this time of year? It's cold and flu season. Back then, cold and flus killed you. You know what I mean? So it was everybody's always afraid coming into this time of year because it's the season. Like I said, it's the season of death.
Well, you also think about like in Ireland and stuff like that. Once it once it gets to this point in the year, it's really dreary. The weather's not nice. It's a struggle to do your normal day-to-day living, even in modern day, like with cars and computers and the electric. People struggle with, hey, it's I go to work in the morning, it's dark, I come home in the afternoon and it's already getting dark.
Yeah.
Like back then you had to tend to all your animals. Get them out, graze them, get them back in before it got dark, because once it got dark, the natural predatory animals started to make their play for the sheep and your chickens and all that.
It's true. It's true. So let's go on to the next segment with like kind of talking about the science and the supernatural aspects.
Yeah. If you think about it, there's like this strange comfort in giving fear a face. But some of these stories begin with the truth.
Right. Well, take the will-o'-the-wisp, right? These ghostly lights seen over swamps and graveyards. And for centuries, travelers swore they were like spirits that would like lead your soul away or lead souls away.
So now you go into the modern science, calls it Ignatius Fatus, which we did cover in previous episodes.
Was it the Marphalites?
Yeah, Marphalites, I'm pretty sure we covered part
I think
of
we did
it.
a strange lights episode.
And this is, basically science's explanation is it's lights from gases rising out of decay. But tell that to someone who followed one deep into a bog and never returned.
There you go. Yeah. Well, even today, like hikers report lights where there flame there's no flame burning, and every Halloween story surface lights that move, stop, then vanish, as though aware that they're being watched. So, you know what I mean? There's all those little oddities.
Yeah. Yeah. And we explain what we can.
Right.
But there's something about Samhain, about Halloween, that just resists explanations.
Maybe it's memory. I mean, maybe something in us still knows that, this night or this season belongs to the dead.
Maybe. And maybe somewhere Jack still wonders,
Mhm.
his lantern flickering in the mist.
That's true. I mean, you never know. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of crazy shit. You know, I mean, who knows? That dude could still be cursed wandering the world.
Well, could you imagine that? Like, just knowing, like, you can't go to heaven, you can't go to hell, and you're stuck with all these freaking idiots.
It's pretty much true. Yeah.
Thinking about it, I probably would take the turn up the coal and just be going.
I mean, if you're stuck for eternity, I would imagine, and I mean, Stingy Jack was kind of a asshole in life. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's taken that to the afterlife with him, and he's probably using eternity and his damnation to mess with people.
Who else does that sound like?
Who?
Who do you know that's an asshole?
Oh
Were you about to call me an asshole?
no. Nope.
You wanted to.
You needed that soundbite. You need those sound bites back.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as I just punched my mic stand. Yeah, definitely it is. I think it's like that, like folklore memory type thing, where part of us wants the tradition of Halloween to be real.
Yeah.
And we've kind of, everybody argues like, oh, everything's so commercialized, all the holidays are commercialized, and they are.
Yeah, but I think to your point, I think you're right though. We still long for the fear. We still long for the supernatural, the what's the word I'm looking for? We're longing for that wonder. You know what I mean? That there could be something more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, there's whole industries now. Like, Halloween was just one day a year.
Mm-hmm.
There are now whole industries that have come from the fright, the horror, the terror of what Halloween was meant to symbolize. I mean, we have a whole, movie industry where, inside of the horror genre, you have a million different subgenres.
Yeah.
Found footage based on a true story, slasher, possession, sci-fi horror, comedy horror. And now you have like, we had talked years ago about like the acceptance of the paranormal and cryptozoology.
Yeah.
Well, now I was watching the World Series before we came on, and there was a commercial with a Yeti in it.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this like years ago. Jack Lynx put that Yeti, the Sasquatch, in the commercial, and then all of a sudden, other companies are doing it, and other companies are putting in, Ghost or Frank. Like at Halloween, you'd always have like the Reese's peanut butter cup commercials that always had like the Dracula or Frankenstein. But there's now, I saw like, I think it was a cell phone commercial during the World Series that was like Frankenstein trying to get his new cell phone working. So like it's become such an industry. I mean, we have stores that only open for what, about 8 weeks?
Oh yeah, Spirit Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah, that are. I mean, well, Spirit Halloween made a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which isn't actually a terrible movie. It's
no, it was pretty good.
Movie, but it is pretty good.
Was it Christopher Lloyd in that?
Christopher Lloyd was in that.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it was actually it was a decent movie. I've watched it a couple times. Like I have the Halloween movie, like rotation I got to watch.
Yeah, yeah. I watched that with the kids. It was a good one, but it kind of this is kind of like a good segue into the next segment. Like Halloween today, um, kind of has echoes of the old ways in it. So Halloween has changed, as you had mentioned, like the costumes, the laughter, the candy. I mean, I was just out with my kids, and my sister brought her kids up and everything, and it was, I mean, it was just actually very heartwarming watching the kids tonight. They were just running around laughing, and they're running into their friends, and having a good time. And it's the edges have softened, from the way things used to be. But kind of like you had said before, the heart kind of still remains the same. I mean, we're still yearning for the scary, but yet holding back the scary with the costumes and the jack-o'-lanterns and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, like think about some of your fondest memories
Mhm.
as a kid.
Trick-or-treating.
I was going to say there's going to be a couple Christmases where you got, a guitar, or you got this, or you got that,
Mhm.
a bike. But if you think about it, a lot of it is like Halloween.
Yeah, for sure.
Your Halloween costume,
Yep.
the going out with your friends, like that first time where your parents were like, "Look, you can go out with your friends and do this. Oh, so and so's mom's gonna walk with you, but not with you." Like,
Yeah.
you know, um,
Or even
and
your first experience with your first mischief night as you get into your teenage years.
yeah, the first time you get rock salt peppered into your ass, um, those moments. But
Uh-huh.
like, I remember like I can remember specific Halloween things
Mhm.
better than I can remember. I think I have like 2 Christmas memories,
Mhm.
like 3 Christmas memories
Uh-huh.
that are like stick in my head at 45, almost 46
Yeah.
from when I was a kid. But I can remember like Halloween costumes.
Mhm.
Now, not year by year, but I can remember like
Classic.
going
Yeah.
I can remember going to the Borough Hall in Cursona, and they were doing the Halloween, like, face painting and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and then, like, going as Dracula for, like, probably the first 4 or 5 Halloweens I went to,
Mhm.
and then, like, a costume that had glowing red. It was a green mask with these, like, light up like, red eyes,
Yeah.
and carrying, like, a hatchet with it,
Mhm.
like, I have more memories of, like, Halloween and going out and, like, trick or treating. I remember it snowing on Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember a few of those. We were
Yeah,
just talking about my brother and I were just talking about that, when Lily was little. We had, like, almost 10 inches of snow that one
yeah,
Halloween, and we're pushing her through the snow in her little stroller.
yeah. I mean, I remember Halloweens where it was, like, 70 degrees out,
Mhm.
and I remember
Sweating.
Halloweens where you actually had, like, your winter snowsuit on under your costume. Like, I
Yep.
remember my mom buying the costumes big enough that you could wear your
Yeah.
snowsuit
Yeah.
under your costume,
Mhm.
because the chances are it's neither going to be 70 degrees out
Yep.
or it's gonna be wet and snowy.
Yep. Welcome to Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So, you have this a night when the living walk beside the dead,
Mhm.
when stories are told, not just to entertain, but to be remembered.
Right. Well, every pumpkin carved, every candle lit is a small kind of act of remembrance, and a lantern burning against the darkness.
Yeah. Definitely, just like you think about, like you were saying, the edges have been softened,
Mhm.
right? There's no I think they're softened for kids
Yeah.
because, you know, adult adult Halloween stuff has just become the, you know, obnoxious stuff. It's not the, I remember, like, again, another Halloween memory, like my mom and my stepdad's Halloween party,
Mm.
where they had like, oh, I can't remember his name. Well, actually, I can, but I don't want to say it out loud because I don't know how his family would take that. But he was one of the deputy sheriffs that works with my mom and my stepdad,
Mm-hmm.
they were all deputy sheriffs. So he used to do like all the Halloween tricks,
Uh-huh.
like table levitation.
Oh, no way.
My first spirit needle he had gotten me.
Spirit needle?
Yeah. It was do you remember like the little cheap fake crystal boxes that like earrings used to come in? They were like a flip top.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was one of those, and
Uh-huh.
you opened it up, and it basically had a silver, thin piece of silver that was pointed on
Mm-hmm.
one end, and it just kind of sat in there on something,
Yeah.
and it would randomly just move. Not the box itself, the needle that was
Yeah.
would randomly just like all of a sudden, like, he taught me how to do seances. So you would leave a chair open at the table,
Yeah.
and you could randomly pick, like, this was the part I was allowed to stay for, and he actually taught me how to do it. When you do the table, you just let the people pick the seats. You don't tell them where to sit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You put this out in the middle of the table, and it's not real, it's only about yay big, box.
Mm-hmm.
So you sit it on the table, and you have one chair that's open, and you start opening yourself up and calling things in, and doesn't matter where you would leave it. If something came to the table,
Mm-hmm.
the needle would spin to that chair.
Holy shit.
But you could randomly, like I said, it's random. It's not like you say, oh, Les, sit over here, you sit over here, you sit over here. So I know every time I do this, it's going to be the chair to my left
Yeah.
that'll come up, and the needle would just go to the left. This thing would sit there, and wherever you left the chair open, if like, you would notice like something came to the table.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden the needle would start like moving a little bit, and as it would get stronger at the table, it would point right at the chair. Now, he got me one. I wish I could find it. I don't know if my mom ever kept it or not. I kind of know where he got it, but I don't think the place is in business anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it was just a spirit needle, and the thing would just work.
Kind of like a dowsing rod in a way, right? Where it would like just go by wherever the energy pull is.
Kind of, yeah. But it was a single, and it was only, like I said, it was that little fake crystal box that like earrings and stuff used to come in.
Yeah.
And the needle sat in, you'd open it up and set it down, and the needle sat on something inside of it and would spin.
Huh.
Almost like a compass, like spin on the liquid, but it would like sit there, and like you could sit it and it would just sit still. It wasn't a compass, it wasn't finding magnetic north or anything like that.
Yeah.
It would just randomly sit there, and then all of a sudden, like when you were doing something, it would just start going in a direction and would stop in that direction.
That's awesome. You should try and find one of them.
Yeah, or have one made. I just got to figure out what. I'm sure it has something to kind of do like with a compass, because it would have to be sitting in liquid. But it was like neat, and the thing worked.
Yeah.
That was like a legit Halloween memory. He was also the guy that scared the crap out of me as a kid. A funny story. At our house, we had a front door,
mm-hmm.
and then our back door wasn't the back. It was in the kitchen, but it also faced towards the front of the house, not like a back door that you'd come in through the back of your house.
Yeah.
So like if you took your back door and put it facing the opposite direction, like walking into your kitchen almost from your like living room, but on the outside in.
Uh-huh.
So that's how our door was. And the porch, like wrapped around there, was a concrete porch. So you could go to the walk up the steps, walk down a long hallway, and go to the back door, like open space with wrought iron rail, or you could just make the right and go to the front door.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting ready for the party, my mom and my stepdad, and somebody goes and knocks on the front door. So I go, my mom is like, go get the door, go get the door. It's probably so-and-so coming, go get, go let him in. So I run to the door, I open the door, there's nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
So then I hear somebody knocking on the back door. So I close the front door, I go through the house, start going to the back door, open the back door, there's nobody there. And of course, I, as a kid, was a chicken shit. But my mom's like, just go outside and see who it is. Go see who it is. So I go outside, and there was a gate that went into our backyard. So I go like look around that corner. There's nobody there. So she's like, go to the front porch. Go to the front porch. And I'm like, start walking. Because, of course, you had to walk over the outside entrance to the basement, too. At that point. Yeah. So I start walking. And all of a sudden, as I get close to the corner, this large creature comes out in front of me holding a machete, a real machete.
Oh, Jesus.
And starts running at me. I fucking cleared. It's the fastest I've ever run in my fucking life. Into that kitchen and ran into my stepdad and jumped on him. It was their friend, and they had set that up to get me because they knew I would. My mom loved to torture me on Halloween. The moral of the story is my mother loved to torture me on Halloween.
Fun memories.
That's not the only thing she's ever done to me on Halloween.
I can only imagine.
But yeah, so like that was one of those like just scary Halloween memories. Like nowadays I sit back and I actually like think about like how cool that was as a kid to, see all this stuff and learn the parlor trick of it all too. Like the bit of how do you make this table vibrate? How do you do this? How do you do that? But like they had like a legit Halloween like seance-y, like turn of the century spirit board type Halloween party. We were not allowed to stay for that part, but just the beginning of it. And then my grandmother came and got us and took us to her house.
Then the fun was over.
Yeah. Well, we got to hang out with Nana, but
it's always a plus, I guess.
Yeah.
Earthy Ed's joining us from YouTube. Good to see you, buddy. Happy Halloween.
So if we could see beyond the veil, we'd find Jack there, right?
Yep.
With his coal glowing, watching us and waiting.
Well, maybe every light in the night is a soul, searching for its home. So let's venture on. Next segment, we're going to talk about kind of the real faces behind the masks and what started the mask tradition. So there's, as we're saying, one more piece of the story or one final echo of the old ways.
The Halloween mask.
Yes. Yeah. Well, today they're plastic, colorful, and harmless. Or like, remember in the 80s, those sharp ass edged, like skin paper cut masks.
That the eye holes never lined up with your eye holes. The nostril and the mouth were never where your mouth or nostril.
They're always sharp, and they would literally dig into your nose. And then the rest of the costume was plastic, so all the blood that was dripping out from your face underneath the mask wouldn't stain your clothes.
Or you would end up sweating like 35 pounds of water weight off because it was like vinyl.
Yeah, you sweat your ass off and then be like 30 degrees, because we were talking about before, it's either hot or super cold. Oh, yeah. What? centuries ago, they were something else entirely, though.
Yeah. Now, in the age of Samhain,
Mhm.
masks weren't for fun. They were a type of armor that
Mm.
people believed the spirits that walked the earth on that night could see human faces as an invitation or even challenges.
Hmm. So, they would cover themselves with animal hides, like we talked about before, ashes as like a fake paint,
Mhm.
uh, carved visages. They hid their identities, blending with the spirits, so they could kind of move amongst them unseen. Basically, spirit or supernatural camouflage, if you will.
Yeah. But here's what most don't really know, though.
Hmm.
Sometimes these disguises work too well.
Well, there is stories from the Scottish Highlands and from the Irish countryside of people who vanished during Samhain celebrations. When the fires died, their masks were found still warm, as if the flesh beneath them had simply stepped away.
Mm. Now, others claim that on those nights, not every figure at the fire was living.
That's creepy.
That when the people that wore their masks, the dead wore theirs too,
Hmm.
returned in borrowed shapes.
That's pretty interesting. It makes you kind of wonder on Halloween. The veil's thin, right?
Mhm.
And we're all running around in disguise. It kind of does make you wonder, like, are there spirits among us? Like, are we passing someone who has already passed? You know what I mean? Like, are we getting a glimpse, or is everybody seeing it, or are we just walking down and seeing, oh, there's a group of 4 people and there's a fifth trailing a little bit behind, but nobody else sees the fifth? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of interesting. That just when you're saying about the being around the fire, not all of them are living. That's kind of creepy.
Well, if you think about it, right, these are the spirits were people.
Hmm.
So they know the tradition,
Yeah.
and if they wanted to maybe somehow set something right that had went wrong,
Yeah.
they quantum leaped into other bodies. Dun, dun. No, I
Mm.
just
Well,
that
that'd
was
be like a possession then.
well, that was a joke. Actually, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But think about it. Like if there was some kind of family trauma,
Hmm.
the person comes back on Halloween
Yep.
and under disguise maybe leads people to something that helps resolve the trauma. Some kind of conclusion, be it, hey, this person had money or supplies or something tucked away that they kind of kept, hidden. So, hey, when it does get to the point where we're running low on this or that, I actually kept some extra put away.
Yeah.
It could have just been like lard, even like,
Yeah.
oh, they scrolled away a little extra lard in the barn, but it's hidden in such a way that only I know where it is. So when we get low, I can go out and get some.
Hmm.
But they die, and the family is the thought process is still this was put away for the family, or this money was put away so we could do something like get out of Ireland and go to the new world, or
Yeah.
so maybe the spirit returns to the fire, to the bonfire, and leads somebody off into the barn
Yeah.
and shows them subtly where to look for the money or where their stuff was hidden, and that rectifies the family's trauma to a
Yeah. You
point.
you you kind of do hear that a lot with ghost stories, where ghosts will lead a loved one or a deceased family member would lead a living loved one to like a will, or because I think I remember seeing on one of those ghost story shows where they kept hearing a noise in the closet of this one room, and they could never figure out why they were hearing it. And I guess the closet was a remodel project, and then they ended up ripping the wall down, and there was like an old safe, and they found like a will or something like that of a family member that had died relatively recent, and then they ended up finding out that they were to inherit, a decent amount of money and stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, it's, you never know. But so let's get back to the story here. You're gonna do your part.
Did you do your part?
It was yours. We're off topic here now.
Great.
But go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to get back on topic, but if you had something to say,
I'm good. You're good.
Every Halloween, we become ghosts that pretend to be human, and humans pretend to be ghosts.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like we were just talking about. Is where you don't know who is what, and maybe some of the oldest truth of all is that the veil was never between our worlds and theirs, but within us.
A mask on one side, a soul on the other. And on this night, they finally meet. Two star-crossed lovers. Right. Imagine a world where a mask on one side and a soul on the other. And on this night, they finally meet. This fall.
This Halloween. Well, I guess that kind of wraps everything up then. I mean, it was a little history of the Halloween of the season,
Yeah. Yeah, we had the legend of Stingy Jack as the beginning as a warning that cleverness cannot outlast death.
Mm-hmm.
And bargains with darkness always come due.
That's right. But the story endures. I mean, really, it reminds us that even, in the blackest night, a single light still burns. It's a jack-o'-lantern.
It's a what?
It's a jack-o'-lantern.
It's what?
A jack-o'-lantern.
What?
Oh, God.
And perhaps that's the truth of Halloween. Not a celebration, but a remembrance.
Mm-hmm.
Not fear, but respect for what waits beyond.
That's right. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in and joining us, the Explorers Seekers of the Truth, on this fine Halloween evening. This was kind of a different format, but we hope you enjoyed it. It was a little bit of the history of Halloween. So, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we will hopefully be back in 2 weeks with another topic yet to be announced. But tune in, and we're going to try and get another Dead Air episode out on the next, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. But like I said, thanks for tuning in. Happy Halloween, everybody. Chad?
Yep. If you light a lantern this Halloween, make sure it burns bright.
That's right, because you never know who might be looking for its glow, right? All right. Good night, Seekers. We will see you guys in 2 weeks, hopefully. Guys, go and enjoy the rest of your, hopefully. Enjoy the rest of your Halloween. Good night, everybody.
Good night.